Good afternoon, everybody. I am Beth Worsdell, author, and welcome to the Witty Writers Show. It's a beautiful Thursday, and I'm here with the amazing Paul Alleva. Hello, darling.
Hello, how are you? How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Paul, I've got to tell you, I have been pretty excited to be interviewing to you today. Not only because we're going to be doing fantastic prizes today and a really good game. I'm super stoked about that.
Me too.
I'm so excited. But also, when I was researching you before the interview, I discovered that we've actually got a few things in common with our interests.
Yes, that we do. Especially
ancient aliens.
That is a definite fact. We are both ancient alien fans, theorists, whatever you want to call it. That is a definite fact.
When I read that, I was so stoked, Paul. I really, really was. Right. I'm the only one in my household that's really fascinated with the whole ancient aliens theory. So I definitely want to be talking to you about that. We've already got people jumping on and saying hello. So welcome
everyone.
Put your hellos and everything in the comments. I've been sharing everywhere, so to get people on so they can join in with our game. Now, Paul, you are so impressive, my darling, because you're a very highly qualified man. You know, you're practicing what's the word? I know it's hypnosis.
Hypnotist or hypnotherapist, either one works.
That's the one. And also, this really interests me. You're also a behavioral analysis and have been for the last 2 decades.
Yes.
That is amazing. Do you know what? I can't think of anything more fascinating. I am a huge fan of shows like Criminal Minds and you know, real life programs about criminal analysis and behavioral analysis. I find that stuff fascinating.
Yeah, I love psychology. I love understanding how somebody's mind works, you know, especially the criminal mind. It's engaging and it's enthralling as well, just to understand their thought process, you know, their emotional process that they go through too when they do things that are horrible things to other people. So yeah. It's fascinating. That is a definite fact. I've been into it since what's funny is what first piqued my interest in psychology or psychiatry was Hannibal Lecter, right? Hannibal Lecter was a psychiatrist. And when I read the book and then I watched the movie, I'm like, this is just a fascinating field to go into. So it was early 2000s, and I got a opportunity to take a job at a psychiatric center, a mental health center, and I just jumped on it. I was just fascinated, and then because I got into that, it just took my career to other levels, great heights. It's been one great ride. I will say that. I've owned my own treatment centers. I wrote a book on psychology and philosophy. That's a self-help book, right, for people to overcome addiction, depression, anxiety, things like that, PTSD as well. And now my wife and I have a private practice, and life couldn't be better. That is a fact. And people get better. That's the amazing thing. People actually do get better, and seeing that and being a part of that with people, that it's so satisfying. It's something that I will do for the rest of my life. No matter if I'm the most famous author on the planet, I will still see people and help them out with trauma therapy. That is a fact.
I think that's absolutely amazing. Your dedication to help others is just truly, truly amazing. And you're right. You know, it's I think mental health is so much more important than people realize for everybody.
Yes.
For everybody, no matter who you are, you know, your mental health is super important, because, you know, if you don't look after your mental health, that can then affect you physically as well, as I've learned in the past. And writing and reading are great therapy practices towards mental health as well, which
they are.
Advocate greatly, especially writing and writing down your feelings and not internalizing your emotions. So I'm super excited about all this. Honestly, I'm so excited, Paul. I'm not sure where to start.
Too funny. Too funny.
Let me start by saying, by letting everybody say hello to you, because we've got lots of people joining in. Heather's joined us. She says hello to you both.
Hello, Heather.
She is fantastic. And you, Paul, you might want to check out her book club as well. It's Heather's book club, and it's brilliant. She's doing a fantastic job, and she actually works at a library in New York. She's amazing. She says hello to you both. I love her picture. Look, she's a little girl, Gemma's there next to her. She's gorgeous. I absolutely love her to bits. We've also got James, who's just joined us. He says hello, one and all.
Hello, James.
I think I was making him laugh earlier because I shared a post about my stinky puppy who does silent but deadly farts. And James was doing the laughing face. Mm-hmm. We've also got Wendy. Hello, Wendy. Thank you for joining us, my darling. Make sure you give your friends a nudge and remind them that we're on, everybody, because we've got a fantastic game that Paul has created for us, and I'm so super excited. And we're giving away, or should I say, you're giving away 9 different prizes today.
9 prizes, 3 categories, 9 questions, 3 questions per category, 9 prizes, and it's a multiple choice. And the categories are fantasy, science fiction, and horror. So we got some good questions. That we do. It's going to be fun.
All 3 are my favorites.
Me too. That's why we're picking them.
Oh my gosh. Now, Paul, I've as I said, I researched you quite thoroughly, and I was just getting more and more oppressed the more I found out about you, to be honest with you. You've got the most amazing review from Kirkus Review for your most recent book, which is called The Rose.
Yeah.
The cover of it is beautiful. Everybody, you need to check out all of Paul's books. They're fantastic. And
one of the prizes too. It's one of the prizes. Signed hardcover. See, I got it right here.
Look at that. You can hold it up in front of you like that. We can have. Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous. I love it.
Love it. Took a long time to get that right, but it came out right. Thank you.
I love the way the red just pops.
Yes. Yeah, the rose. Yep.
It is
the alien vampire hands holding it. Love it. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be better than that. Does it? Alien vampires. I'm like, I'm so excited. So, and your reviews have been phenomenal. I mean, they really have. Because when I had a look, your average is like 4.6 out of 5, which is fantastic. And it's a dystopian science fiction, action adventure thriller.
Yeah.
As you said, about alien vampires. That's like a whammy right there. Now you've actually got six works published, and even with all 6, your average rating is 4.5, which is brilliant.
Not bad, right?
But you actually wrote your first novel at 12 years old.
I did. It was a fantasy novel. Based on a dream that I had, right? So a dream that I had, along with, I was reading The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings during that time too, and playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. So it all kind of came together in this story. I remember I wrote it in a 5-subject notebook, right? So all handwritten at that time. And it came out to, I think it was over 300 handwritten pages.
Wow.
And it's about this book, the Book of the Dead, that's been captured by this evil sorcerer, and this band of misfits have to go and find it. And if they don't find it, the end of the world is going to come.
Oh my gosh, that is epic.
Yeah. I wish I still had that 5-subject notebook. I would love to find that. It's somewhere, probably in a box in my mother's garage somewhere.
You've got to find it. Do you know what? I used to write poetry a lot as a child, and I always used to put it all in the same books, and I kept it all, and it was my precious, my precious. And I'd kept all this collection since I was a young child. So you could even see like where my handwriting had changed over the years and everything, And then when my husband and I moved, after we got married, the box with all my poetry in vanished. Literally from one house to the other, and I never found it. I was heartbroken.
Yeah. Something like that happened to me too. I was in it was 2004, right? The great laptop tragedy of 2004 is what I call it. So I had all my books, right? So I had more than a few books on my laptop, and this is the age of floppy disks, right? So I had everything. I put everything on the floppy disk as well, right? So what happened is I was in school and I had to go to the library and I needed a floppy disk. It's the only one I had. I'm like, well, what if I leave it there? I said, all right, take everything off the floppy disk, and as soon as I get back home, I'll put the disk back in, and I'll go ahead and have my second copy or whatever. So I go there, boom, boom, boom. I never put it on, and what happened is my daughter, who was like 2 or 3 at the time, dropped the laptop. Irreparable. Couldn't get that. Well, I lost books, short stories, poetry books. Poetry is my first love of literature, by the way. So I love that you're doing that. But it gone, like completely wiped out. And I was like, well, what are you going to do, right? Time to start over. That's what that means. Start over, come up with something else. And that's when I wrote my first published book, which is called Indifference.
Fantastic. Well, it was obviously meant to be then, wasn't it?
It was meant to be.
Even the bad stuff happens to us for a reason. As long as we learn from it and get something out of it in the end, it's all good. Exactly. That's amazing. Right? I bet you cry at the time, though.
I did want to cry at the time. It's of course I brought it. There weren't like things back then too, right? Where you could bring it to like Best Buy and have them figure it out for you, So I had to search for someone. I did find someone, and when I got to them, they said it was completely done. They couldn't do anything about it. It was over.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. But never mind. Look how much accomplished since. That's the main thing.
Exactly.
So your first novel was published in 2011.
Yes.
And I'm so impressed how you've managed to fit it in. You're seeing patients, you're running your own practices, and you've written 6 full-on novels as well. It's absolutely mind-bending. It really, really is. Now, are you a massive reader of sci-fi and fantasy and horror, as well as wanting to write it? Because some authors doesn't always calibrate together.
Yes. So I love reading. I love all genres. Yes, my main genre would be your horror, your psychological thrillers, supernatural thrillers, sci-fi, fantasy. But I mean, I've been reading since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Love reading, and I've gone through different phases too of reading. So in the beginning, when I was a kid, it was dark fantasy, it was fantasy. It was Edgar Allan Poe, Washington Irving, it was everything I was reading in high school or through high school as well. I got into a classic literature phase, so reading all the classics, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Count of Monte Cristo, the Bronte sisters, all that, and then I would switch over and I would get into like horror, and just read horror books for like 5 years or 6 years. And then I even got into a nonfiction spell as well. And I would read a lot of things about metaphysics, right? So metaphysics, quantum physics, like I love those types of subjects. So, and then I've come back, I've come full circle now, and I read, my horror, fantasy, and sci-fi.
That's just fantastic. I'm very similar to you. I have very different tastes in books. I'm quite varied. And I've become more adventurous, I think, with my reading as I've got older and have tried new genres just to see if I like it or not. And it's funny because I've had conversations where friends and they'll say, oh, I'm not really a reader. And my reply is always, that's because you haven't found the right type of book to read.
That's right.
It's all about finding that right genre and maybe subgenre that blows your mind, where it intrigues you so much you can't put it down. And my kids were exactly the same. But your children are older now, the same as mine. I've got 3 in their 20s and one who's
4.
I've got 4 too.
All right. Yeah, so
2 girls.
The 2 younger ones are young, right? So they're 9. They're twins, twin boys, right? And then I have my older ones, 21 and 18. My daughter's 18. Oh,
fantastic. Now, do you find your older children will actually recommend books to you to try?
Yes, yeah, yes, 100%. Especially my son, my oldest son, because our tastes are very, very similar, especially with horror books. And I just recommended a few horror books for him as well. But yeah, he recommends all the time. My daughter, not so much, but they're also both beta readers for me as well.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. My son Thomas, he's always, if he's found a really good book, he's always shared it. Mum, you've got to read this. You've got to read this. And which has been great until he keeps recommending authors that have got a massive backlist, and I am completely addicted. Cassandra Clare was one fantasy author. I absolutely devoured all of hers. And then Darren Shan. I love Darren Shan. His books are gory, like blood, guts, and demon blood, but they're brilliant.
Gotcha. What's the name again?
He's called Darren Shan. I think target market is actually young adult. But his writing is fantastic. He wrote The Vampire's Assistant, which got turned into a movie.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
Brilliant. His Demon Artist series, I just could not put down. So but I love the fact that as authors, we get to be able to share not only our work with our kids, but also get them excited about sharing their finds with us.
Yes, agree.
That's a definite bonus, isn't it? Of being an author, you got something to talk about with them. Now, I find it absolutely amazing that we've got so much in common. It's just amazing. So how on earth did you get into like the ancient aliens and that type of thing as well?
What's funny is years ago when they first started, I was at a conference in Los Angeles, and they were there. Like all the ancient aliens guys were there, and they were holding a panel. And at that time, I'd never watched the Ancient Aliens. So I had a huge missed opportunity. And then it was a few years later, and somebody said, watch this show, you're going to love it. And I didn't know exactly what it was about, and I was like, all right, I'll watch it, whatever. And then first episode, I'm like, that's what this is about? I thought it was something completely different. I have no idea what I even thought it was at that time. And I was just hooked from that, binge watching at that point, every episode and every season I could get. And it's funny too, like a couple seasons ago, they did a episode called The Druid Connection, right? And the episode, so the episode where I grew up in New York, right? So I grew up in Westchester County, New York, Hudson Valley region. That whole episode is all about that region and the hotbed of UFO activity that has existed there for decades.
Yeah,
right? Mostly in the late 70s and early and into the 80s as well. It was a hotbed of UFO activity. So when they had that show, I was just like, hey, that's so awesome that they actually did something, in my hometown. I thought it was phenomenal.
That is so cool. It's funny because, I had no clue about that whole ancient aliens. I'd seen like little snippets on TV, but I'd never paid attention. And it wasn't until after I published, I think I published book 1, and I think I was already writing book 2 of my trilogy when I started getting comments from people and messages saying, this is like ancient aliens.
Yeah.
Because my books connect the dots between, our planet now and civilization now and connecting the dots with our ancient past and aliens coming to save us again. They're coming back to help after visiting over millennia. And people were like messaging me that I was blowing their mind. Oh my God, I can't believe you're connecting all these dots between all this stuff. You need to watch this Ancient Aliens. So I said, oh, okay, then I'll check it out and see what all the fuss is about. And like you, I was addicted.
Yeah, immediate.
Yeah, because I've got in my books, I've got the connection between ancient aliens and the ancient Egyptians. So in my books, the aliens that come back to save us, they've got the hieroglyphs on their, in their ship and everything else. My mind was blown, and like you, my story came from a dream.
Gotcha.
I was like, this is quite spooky, actually. It's a message to write this book.
Right. It works. It works well, right? I love it. It's like when I was writing The Rose, it's us ancient alien theorists, right? We love our show. And I had to make sure, because there's more than a few philosophical concepts, whatever you want to call it, theories, whatever it is, that are from ancient aliens and that whole broad spectrum that are in the book. So I wanted to make sure it was all presented correctly. And it's such a long series. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books that are going to be written within this series. And It's going to change over time. But it's like, what theory am I using in volume 1 that by the time 9 comes out is going to manifest? So I needed to make sure everything was presented accurately and correctly, and sometimes it's just maybe a quick little sentence, that if you're an Ancient Aliens fan, you're going to catch it. You're going to know exactly what that means for that theory and what that's going to come to fruition a little bit later. Yeah. Oh, it's so much fun.
What inspired you to come up with the alien vampires as a race? I'm so intrigued as to what sparked that.
All right, so when I was about 4 years old, right? So there was a show on called Buck Rogers.
I love that show.
Right.
We're showing our age right now. I've got to tell you.
We definitely are, 100%, right? And I heard they're redoing it. They're like making the series again, like doing a remake or whatever.
Oh, but what that?
Right, Buck Rogers. So. All right, so I'm watching this show. So I'm this 4-year-old kid watching this show. In one of the episodes, they have an alien vampire. All right.
Oh, wow.
In which case, he sucks the energy out of people. He sucks their life force out, right? And that's how he kills them. And this alien vampire, scared the living daylights out of me, right? He was so evil looking. He was more like a Nosferatu type of looking vampire. He was so evil and so nasty, and he stuck with me for decades, right? So when I was starting to put this concept together for The Rose, I was like, alien vampires, let's do it. Let's put that in there. Such a cool concept. And you can play with it and take it, as far as you want, and I went back and found that episand from Buck Rogers. So I had to see what this alien vampire actually looks like. A 4-year-old child is something scary, but to an adult, I was like, how ridiculous does this guy look? And it was horrible. It was so bad. It's just this like mask this guy has, it was horrible makeup job. Which is probably why the series didn't last more than a few seasons.
But in your defense, we didn't have 4K TV back then, like smart TVs, and most of the TVs were only just starting to be in color.
That is a fact. That is a fact. Still had bunny ears going on at that time, right? Remember the bunny ears? It's bunny ears. Move there. Just stand there. Wait there. Don't worry about it.
We were the remote controls.
Yes, we were. Get up and shut the TV off. Push that button.
Oh, that's brilliant. But I love the fact that, that obviously stayed with you for a reason. And for you to actually use that memory, childhood memory, for a future book is absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
and I love my alien vampires. That's one thing about the book too. So I write through multiple points of view, right? So you're in the heads of the alien vampires. You're understanding their feelings, their emotions, even their culture. Their culture is very, very thick. They're from outer space. They've been around for millenniums. There's a culture behind them. What's going on, and just getting into their heads to me was so much fun to be in the head of an alien vampire. Can't tell you. I loved it. I love it.
I love the fact that you've done that. I really, really do, because there's so much fiction across the board, whether it be books or movies. You don't normally get to do that. You don't normally get to find out why they're doing what they're doing, what's driving them. As you said, what kind of culture they come from and everything else. I think one of the few things that I can think of that even pops into my head would be like the movie 4th of July, where they actually communicate and tell them this is why we're here.
That's right.
But for you to do that in your novel is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. And it's a lot of the ancient alien theories are in there, because what is the motivation? So I use a lot of that for their backstory and their culture, so throw in, where are they from? They're from, Orion's belt, or maybe the 12th planet theory where their planet blew up and that's why they're here, So kind of like putting those little tidbits in there help me to make their species sophisticated and like more real, more, I guess you could say in a strange way, more human.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? It's it's funny because we look at Earth and humanity and we are all one race. But then when you really think of the bigger picture, we are just one planet in multi-universes. And the idea that we could be the only inhabited planet is so ridiculous. When you think of how vast the universe is, there have got to be other life out there. The chances of us just being us is ridiculous. But also the thought that other planets could not only have life, but have civilizations and traditions and motivations. That's really intriguing. It just gets your brain going, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does. If any of you viewers watch Ancient Aliens, or you want to ask a question, or tell us what you think about the ancient alien theory, and how cool the vampire idea is, because I love that. Put it in the comments, because I'd love to pop it up and show Paul.
That's right.
The feedback you've been receiving, especially as I said with the reviews for The Rose, has been phenomenal. Do you get many people reaching out to you and saying to you, look, I got that, I picked up on what you put in?
I do. It's refreshing too. Usually I get a lot of emails, actually. People will be on the website, or people through my newsletter, will usually reply or send a message or whatever like that, just stating anything like, hey, this is awesome, and I love that you put Robert Morningstar into this. Are you going to expand on that? Like things like that, questions like that, and it's very exciting. 100% exciting. I'm glad that people are excited too, because it's fun. It's escapist literature. It's like, everything that you're going on in life is completely gone when you're reading that type of book, Oh yeah. And it puts you on a different plane, a different energetic level that's just brilliant and beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And I love it when we get feedback.
Yes.
As well, when we get those comments and messages from people who have just been completely engrossed in what you're writing, and they've got it.
Yes.
They get the connections. That's just fantastic. Excuse me. James says, I truly believe ancient aliens theory, despite religious nuts. I think, do you know what? I love talking to you, Paul, because I really do think with today's technology and the fact that they are discovering so much now, especially with the new nadar, which is obviously, opening up landscapes like jungles, etc. They're finding these ruins now that have been hidden for since the Mayans and whatever, wiped out. It's amazing the evidence that shows that there was connections between star people and our ancient civilizations, and it's not just in like North America, it's all over the world, isn't it, Paul?
Yes.
Literally all these ancient tribes from Africa to here to England. There, every type of religion and early civilization has a connection to star people.
That's right.
And they've created what they saw, either sculptures or paintings, traditions of dress. They've all copied what they've saw and passed that knowledge on again and again and again and again.
Yes. And you're talking thousands of years ago. You couldn't just take a plane and go here. They had no idea these other people even existed, but yet they all have the same like mythology. They have the same type of pictures, the same type of dress, the same type of like protocols and ways of living and stuff like that. I mean, it's fascinating. And then who built the pyramids and what are the pyramids, you know, and how did they do that at that time? And these are questions we should definitely be asking. And then Ancient Aliens provides a possible answer. Let's put it that way, right?
It really does. And also, I don't know whether you've been keeping on top of this, but there's an awful lot of top secret information that is now starting to be released and disclosed. And that is mind blowing. And there's a program, and I don't know whether you've caught it or not, but it's called The Hanger.
No.
And it is amazing, and it's all about documentation that the governments have been released, and they're on it. This organization is on it. As soon as something gets released, they're grabbing copies of it. And
very interesting.
And it's amazing the information that's now coming through. Paperwork being released that are describing military exercises that have been stopped by UFOs.
That's right.
Machinery being shut down by UFOs.
Nuclear plants being shut down. That's right.
Being monitored and then shut down. Yeah, exactly. But you want to check it out. It's called The Hanger, I think it's called. I hate ironing. I hate ironing with a vengeance. So I have to watch stuff while I'm ironing just to take off the chore.
Understood. It sounds like a good one.
That's one of my go-tos.
Have you seen the documentary Unacknowledged?
Yes, I watched that.
Fantastic, right? It's a good one. And did you see the sequel to that, or the part 2, or the other one by the same guy, Dr. Stephen Greer? Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind.
Oh yes, I did watch that.
Yeah, very good. Well, that's Dr. Stephen Greer.
Yes. It just blows my mind. And what's great is that with today's technology, and I'm sure you feel the same way with today's technology, and the fact that pretty much every one of us has a camera on our phone.
Yeah.
These moments, these experiences, and these encounters more and more are being caught because of the ability to hold up a phone quick and record. And that is mind blowing, because we're seeing more and more evidence of UFOs and everything else, because people are able to capture it immediately as soon as it happens. And it's funny because, I wrote it down to remind myself to tell you this. My son recently had an experience where he literally, and we do have an airport local, but it is in a completely different direction to where he saw his event. We've got mountains behind us.
Okay.
And this was happening above the mountains, and literally he literally saw these moving objects of light appearing and then moving and then blinking out. But there was loads of them. And we had a visitor, so he was taking his friend up to the top to try and have a look and show her the view. There was a security guard or somebody up there, and my son said to the security guard, "Have you ever seen anything like this?" And this security guard's like, "No."
Not at all.
And my son, straight away, the moment he spotted it, he got his phone out and recorded it. So, I think there's no denying any of this anymore, because there are so many witnesses, isn't there? And so many people seeing it for themselves and being able to record it and share it instantly on social media and everywhere else. I don't think any of us can deny that.
That's right. It's not whether UFOs exist. Obviously, they exist at this point. The question is who's driving the plane, right? Who's in there? Who's at the controls? What do they look like, and who are they? Is it a CIA agent trying to make us all look like fools, or is it people from outer space? We have no idea, right? That's what we need to know. We need to get on that spaceship and find out who these people are.
Exactly. Well, I've got to tell you, you're not helping me right now, Paul, because my TBR, because of your books, my TBR has grown even more than before.
Understood.
But I'm super excited. I'm super excited. James says the obvious question: what do you both think about Area 51? Oh, okay. I'll let you go first on that, Paul.
I think at this point, at this moment, that it's more of a decoy than anything. I think if there's anything there more than likely was something there, but I would say that it's gone at this point, and probably in some other remote location that we have no idea. We have no idea where it is. That's what I think about Area 51. Do I believe in the aliens? Yeah, I do. Do I believe that we have a crashed ship? Yeah, I believe in the possibility that is a possibility. So yes, have we done alien autopsies? Maybe, maybe not, but that is a possibility that we have done alien autopsies. So one thing that I do know is that our government likes to treat us like mushrooms. They feed us shit and they keep us in the dark, right? Yes. So anything out there is a possibility. And until somebody says this is exactly it, we could all have our nice conspiracy theories and write books and do everything else we need to do.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And look at this. Look, James agrees wholeheartedly. He really does. I'm completely in agreement on all counts of what you just said. Definitely about Area 51.
Yeah.
I mean, the technology has moved on so much now, and Area 51 became so renowned. It would have been really unsmart to keep it there. So I think you're right. I think it's kept there, but it's pretty much empty right now, or maybe for storage of something. But you're right. We've got technology now where you could pretty much build a whole underground city and nobody would even know.
Exactly.
We have that technology. But it's interesting, isn't it? Back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and early 70s, there wasn't the technology and to literally create really realistic imagery of aliens and everything else. Since then, technology has moved on so fast that the books and the visual media that we're seeing, whether it be TV programs or gaming or movies, it's so realistic now.
Yeah.
I think the whole of society is desensitized to being scared of aliens now, because we've just everything we look at is completely desensitizing us to it. When you think about the horror movies that we've witnessed in the last 30 years,
we're definitely desensitized.
Yeah. We've seen so much imagery that has really got rid of our fears of the unknown. I'm sure any alien that we come now is nothing in comparison to what we've been subjected to.
Exactly. That's like the movie The Exorcist, right?
Yes.
When I was a kid, I watched that. That was the scariest movie of all time, And I have my older kids watch it. They're like, no, not scary at all. I'm like, how is it not scary? They're like, because it's just so fake. It's like, it's obvious that it's fake. I'm like, no, don't do that. It's supposed to be the scariest movie of all time. They're like, nope. What else you got? It's like, great. Yeah, completely trashed my movie. I told them to read the book, though. The book is phenomenal.
The book is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that, because when I watched that, I had nightmares for ages after watching that movie. And obviously, back when we were kids, it wasn't 24-hour TV. There wasn't 24-hour TV. It got to like midnight or whatever, and
it goes off.
And then you get that shh. Every time I heard that shh on the TV, I'm thinking, oh my mind went straight back to that movie, thinking, oh, that's creepy.
That's right. Remember Poltergeist, right? We were watching Poltergeist, the original Poltergeist. This is a few years ago, and in the beginning of that movie, the TV goes off. Right? It comes on. It ends with the national anthem. They play the national anthem, and then it goes boo. And my kids are like, "What happened to their TV?" I was like, that's the way it used to be. They're like, the TV just went off. Yes, that's right. Just completely shut off. There's no programming after a certain time. And I think you're right. I think it was like midnight or like 1 a.m. or something. There's nothing there. So, that was like static.
the things we went through as kids. Oh, there we go. Look, James is on the ball. He says they're here.
They're here. That's right.
How could those two words be so menacing? Right, everybody who's watching, are you all ready for a game?
I need to get the questions, right?
Yes, I'm super excited. Okay, so just to go over what we're doing. So there's 3 categories.
3 categories.
Which
fantasy, sci-fi, and horror, right? So each category has 3 questions, right? And they're all multiple choice, so the answers will be there. So we're going to ask a question. What we'll do is you'll pick the category. We'll just jump around, right? So you pick the category, and then we'll figure out what prize to give. I'll put the prize up so everybody can see it, and then we'll ask the question. And I guess the way we'll do it is the first person that comments with the correct answer wins the prize, right? And then there's one thing I'm forgetting. Oh, okay. Everybody out there, if you are the winner of the prize, you will see my email address right there. All right. pd@pdalleva.com.
That way. There we go. That way.
So if you win the prize, shoot me an email as quickly as possible. And what I'm going to need is your mailing address. And then please tell me what prize you won, maybe in the subject line, won this prize or whatever. That'll be great. As far as the shirts are concerned, so if you win a shirt, I need your size too. All right. The shirts I have, they're mine. I'm not going to send you my shirts. That would probably be very strange. So I need your shirt size and then your address for everything. What else? Because I'll order those from the manufacturer. They'll go straight to you that way. The book is here. I'll mail that out. And the tumblers I have, the tumblers I'm going to show you are also mine. The ones that I'm giving out are in a box right now, and you'll get it in the box, nice and prim and proper and all sealed up for your pleasure or whatever. So
exciting. And I did share all the photographs that you sent me of the fantastic prizes, so everybody knows what they look like, and they are wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. Wendy says absolutely, she's ready to go.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, so there are 9 prizes to give out. And what we'll do, if it's all right with you, is if we don't get the correct answers immediately, what we'll do, because obviously everybody can watch the interview whenever they finish work or whatever. So what we'll do is we'll just keep going in the comments until we get the correct answer.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
That's all right. And then and what we'll do is either myself or Paul will comment or reply on your winning comment to let you know that you are the first correct answer and you've won.
Perfect.
And that way everybody knows where they're up to, because some people it might take a couple of hours of rewatching to realize what the answer is. So okay. All right, so do I get to pick the first one?
Yes, pick a category.
Okay, I'm gonna go with horror, please, Paul.
I knew it. All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to tell everybody they're not that hard, right? Some of them might be hard. Kind of depends on if you really love your genre. So usually the first question that I pick is kind of the easier one to go, and then they'll get harder as we go down, right? So, all right, here we go. Which is Stephen King's first novel? All right. A, Cujo. B, It. C, Carrie, or D, The Shining?
Oh, okay. First winning answer wins. Could you just repeat those possible answers?
100%. I'll repeat the question too. Which is Stephen King's first novel? A, Cujo. B, It. C, Carrie, or D, The Shining?
Oh, we've got 2 answers already. James says, is it Cujo?
No. Sorry, James.
And Wendy says, is it Carrie?
Yes, it is.
Carrie.
There you go, Wendy. You win.
That is awesome. So, Wendy, you need to make a note of Paul's email address, which is over there, look. You need to make a note of his email address so you can send him your address to collect your prize.
That's right. That's
right. Oh, she's all excited. She's like, yay.
All right, we got one down. Oh, wait, hold on. What did you win? We didn't pick a prize.
And I did know that one as well.
We're in horror. How about t-shirt? That's what we'll do. We'll go with the Gollum t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right? The Gollum t-shirt. I don't know if you see this. And then this is the quote, but I'm going to read this quote to you because it's also on the Tumblr, all right? And there's a story behind this quote, all right?
Okay, yeah.
All right. Books and movies are like a blueprint, a survival manual disguised as fiction, as folklore, because the truth hides in plain sight, and those that see have to hide, and those that can't see, well, they're just a part of the plan.
Oh, I love that.
Right? Which is, what's funny is when I was writing Gollum, that's my new horror novel, right? So I'm going to write down Gollum shirt. That's my new horror novel. And I was reading at the same time a book by J.D. Barker and Dacre Stoker, right? And it's a prequel to Dracula called Dracul, right?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, at the end of first of all, the book's phenomenal. I absolutely love the book. It was great, right? But at the end, they are talking because Dacre Stoker is like the great grandson or grandnephew of Bram Stoker, right? So he was able. They gave him the rights to actually write this book, and at the end of the book, in the author's note, was even more fascinating than the novel itself because it goes into how Bram Stoker believed that novel was nonfiction. It was real. Like that's what he is talking about. And even the book itself came out and they changed it up in different countries with different versions. Like the one that he wrote was changed.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
Yes. Great. It was phenomenal. So that's where I came up with that quote.
That is, and I love that quote. It is absolutely brilliant.
It's for readers, right? It's a reader's quote. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm going to look more into that because that is absolutely fascinating. I never knew that. Yeah,
read that book too. Not only is the book damn good, like really, really good. There's another one too. They did a sequel called Dracula Undead, which was horrible. I'm sorry, it was horrible. I didn't like it. Other people might have liked it, but I'm saying, in my opinion, horrible. Yeah. But that prequel, Dracul, it's called phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And then you get the whole thing at the end.
You're making my TBR list even bigger, please.
Add those books.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is awesome. Okay. Oh, there we go. Let's have a look. Oh, James says, he had a brain fart. Isn't it interesting though, because he's been going so long and he's got so many books out. It is hard to keep track. Wilson India says, well done to Wendy. And there we go. Wendy says, love it. Awesome. That is so exciting.
Cool.
So exciting. Okay.
Ready? Category. Which one?
Fantasy.
Switch over. Here we go. Okay. So fantasy. So let's do, as far as a prize, right? Let's give out a tumbler for this one, all right? We're going to do a girl on a mission, right? So this is the tumbler.
Oh, I love that. Look at that. It's so cool.
Fantastic, right? Ooh, there you go. Brilliant. And it comes with, you'll get it. It comes with the top and the straw. Like I said, these are mine. Yours are in the box. So it comes with all that too. And this is Girl on a Mission. There you go. Girl on a Mission.
I love it.
All right, Girl on a Mission is my supernatural thriller, and it takes place in the 1990s, early 1990s. Follows 16-year-old leukemia survivor Liza Ward. Right, so the tagline is, Liza Ward wanted a simple life, but the only thing simple for Liza is murder. All right. So Liza has a near-death experience, and when she comes out of it, she discovers she has a power she refers to as the click. All right. And when she looks into somebody's eyes, she feels this click, and whatever she says to them, they will do.
That is amazing.
Right? So one day, all right. So as life goes on and life happens, I can't say what it is, but a tragedy happens in her life, right? And she needs money, and she uses her power to become a hitman for the mob.
Wow. And why wouldn't you if you got that gift?
Right, that's right. So, and the other tagline is murder, mayhem, and grunge. So I'm a grunge guy. So I
love it.
So that's the Tumblr. So I got to write this down. Hold on, girl.
Awesome. I love the way your mind works, Paul. Honestly, with the girl with the click, I love that. And alien vampires, I love the way your brain works.
Cool concepts, right? It's the way to do it, right? Yeah. All right, so here's the question. I hope everybody is ready. Let's go. All right.
Ready.
All right, here we go. All right, if you're a fantasy person, you should be able to get this without a doubt, all right? Question is, this contemporary writer moves fantasy elements to the modern world in books like American Gods and Neverwhere. All right. So A, Mark Lawrence, B, Neil Stevenson, C, Neil Gaiman, or D, Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, I knew this one immediately. Who's going to get it first? I wonder. I'm so stoked.
Let's go.
Can you repeat it just to give everyone a second?
Yes, we should do that. Okay, so this contemporary writer moves fantasy elements to the modern world in books like American Gods and Neverwhere. Answers could be A, Mark Lawrence, B, Neil Stevenson, C, Neil Gaiman, or D, Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, who's going to get it? Come on, pop your answers up. Oh. I didn't know this one instantly, I've got to tell you, because I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, I was a huge fan.
I love American Gods.
Oh my gosh. And bless her. But Wilson India says, love Beth's energy, always amazing guest. Oh, thank you, my darling.
Thank you.
We try our best. Okay, we've got an answer. Oh, hang on. Heather says, is it Neil Gaiman?
Yes, that is the correct answer. Nice. So you win the Tumblr. Nice. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Here we go.
And don't forget, look, email address down there.
That's right. Yeah, shoot me an email and say in the subject line, write girl on a mission Tumblr or cup, whatever you want. Tumblr is fine. And then I need your mailing address. All right, name and mailing address.
Wonderful.
I'll get it shipped out.
Well done, Heather. She was on it, wasn't she? She was on it.
That's right.
Wilson says, I'll never get it if I read factual books. LOL, I will read this one though. Oh, you're awesome. You are awesome. Heather says, yay, thank you.
So cool, right?
And Wilson says, yay, great work, Heather. Oh, I love it. Okay, so that's 2 down. Okay, the next one. I'm feeling a bit science fiction, please.
Science fiction. Okay, all right. So,
I feel like I'm on a game show right now. I'm loving it.
That's right. Okay, so let's go. We're doing fantasy. No, we're doing sci-fi. So why don't we do this? All right, signed hardcover of The Rose for this one. All right, that'll be this prize for this one. So Rose.
Devils.
Signed hardcover. All right, so you'll get this exact book right here too. So that's going to get sent out, right? All right, so we got the prize. Let's go. Question is, first sci-fi question. Which one of these books was self-published before making it big? A, The Hunger Games, B, Station 11, C, Annihilation, or D, The Martian?
I know this one as well.
All right, let me read it again, though, right?
I was trying to do a poker face, so I didn't give it away.
It's too funny. All right, so here's the question again, one more time. Which one of these books was self-published before making it big? A, The Hunger Games, B, Station 11, C, Annihilation, or D, The Martian?
There we go. And we've already got somebody guessing. Look, yeah. Wendy is straight in there. She says, was it the last one? D.
Yes, that is the answer. And I love it. Andy Weir actually was writing that book, and he was putting it on his website for people to read. And that's how he did it. That's how he garnered the attention for it. And people were like, this is really good. You got to keep going.
I think that, do you know what? And it is such a fantastic book. The book was just gripping. And it's one of the few movie adaptations that I absolutely loved. Yeah. It was done so well. Yeah, it really was done so well. There's very few that I can think of that do the book justice. But the book is phenomenal. And I didn't know that. So he was writing it on his website.
Yeah, he would write it, and he would do he'd put the first chapter up there, and a couple people had gone on and read it and said, hey, that's really cool. Keep writing. So then he put a couple more chapters or pages on there, and then more people started reading it and really liking it. So then I don't know if he published it and it was popular, the full book as an indie, or just he was garnering so much attention that traditional publishing picked him up. That I'm not sure. But it's either one or the other, right?
It just goes to show that people know what they like, and that when people do declare what they like, that it really does help authors get noticed.
Yeah, 100%. And then they tell other people, and the next thing you know, you get a whole audience.
Yeah, that's just phenomenal. I mean, I love hearing about success stories like that. I really, really do. It just gives me hope for everybody. Wendy says, "Oh my God, I never win anything. This is Is it going to be signed?"
Yes, it definitely is going to be signed.
Yay!
100%. And if you want to email me, if you want me to personalize it, just let me know. I'll get personalized to you as well if you want as well.
There we go. Wendy, you're a double winner. Look at you go. She's fantastic. I'm loving this. I've got to tell you, I'm loving it. Okay. Can we have another science fiction one, please?
Yes. And actually, this is my favorite question of all of them, right? Because it has to deal with my favorite novel, and no more spoilers, right? So let's just do it, right? Wait, let's pick. We need to pick something. It's something sci-fi. Oh, let's go. We got this, the mug, the rose mug, the alien vampire, right? So
I love it.
And this one's mine. My wife and I drink out of these every morning.
I love it.
I love them. So that's where you're going to get, and I need to write that down.
Awesome.
Cup, right? Okay.
This is cool.
All right, here we go. All right, here's the next question. Which classic book is considered by many to be the first science fiction novel? A, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. B, Brave New World. C, Frankenstein. Or D, The Time Machine. And I'll read that again.
Oh, that's a good one.
This is the one that stumped my son, my 21-year-old son.
This is a good one.
Which classic book is considered by many to be the first science fiction novel? A, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. B, Brave New World. C, Frankenstein. Or D, The Time Machine.
That is interesting. I know what I'm thinking, so I'll keep mine to myself until we announce the winner. But we've got Wendy says, "Is it C?"
It is C.
Oh, look, oh my gosh, she's on fire. Wendy, you are
Wendy, you're rocking. You got it first. Everyone got it.
Yeah, we had 2 for Frankenstein.
C is Frankenstein.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Look at that. And do you know, it's funny because that was as soon as it pops in my head, I'm thinking it's got to be Frankenstein because of the technology that they obviously use to try and bring him back to life. That is cool. But I wasn't sure. I didn't know the answer.
It's my favorite novel of all time is still Frankenstein.
Well, it's just
I've read it 4 times already, and I'll probably start reading it again sometime soon. I just love that novel. It's my favorite. And I recently watched the movie about Mary Shelley as well, which I thought was phenomenal. I'm pretty sure it's titled Mary Shelley, which was a great movie about her life. Really well.
I don't think I've ever watched that. Was it on like Hulu or Netflix or?
I watched it. It was probably on Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
I watched it recently. It's an older movie. I mean, not old, within the last 10 years, but I thought it was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And they portrayed her really well. That is a fact. So it was quite enjoyable.
Oh, do you know what? I've got so much admiration for her because she was so ahead of her time in such a difficult time period.
Yes.
Because women, the only thing in then days, the only thing they should have been motivated to do was find a husband and try and elevate the family and themselves. So for her to actually really push on and create such a masterpiece, and so much ahead of her time, wow. What about you? But that's a lady I would love to go back in time and have a conversation with.
Me too. Hang out at some grave sites, and just chill out and enjoy. That's a great conversation. She used to hang out at grave sites.
She was a badass.
Yeah, she was.
She was. Yeah. She was a badass. Could you imagine what she would have been like in our time?
I know. Classic. All right, let's do another one, right?
Okay, Wendy says, "Oh my God," and she's like 3 exclamation marks. She's so excited, and Wilson says, "You're on fire! Congrats!" She is.
Yes, she is.
You guys need to be quicker with your fingers if you want to get in there and beat Wendy right now.
Get the ears close, right? Get it done. All right, category. So we did sci-fi. You want to go back to horror? All right, let's go. All right, so let's I'm just looking at prizes. I did the Girl on a Mission already. We did Gum. We did this. $25 Amazon gift card for this one.
Oh, awesome. So
Amazon gift card. Okay, perfect. All right. If you're a horror lover, you should definitely be able to get this one. Question is, Clive Barker's novel, The Hellbound Heart, was adapted into which film? A, The Evil Dead, B, Hellraiser, C, Rosemary's Baby, or D, Halloween?
I'll repeat. I don't know this one. I don't know this one. I'm going to guess after everyone's had their shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so repeat. Clive Barker's novel, The Hellbound Heart, was adapted into which film? A, The Evil Dead, B, Hellraiser, C, Rosemary's Baby, or D, Halloween?
Oh, okay. I know what I think. Wendy says, she's in there straight off. She says, is it B?
It is B, Hellraiser. Pinhead. Wendy, you are going crazy here. Awesome. You're great on the ball, girl. Hellraiser, Pinhead.
If she was on fire any more than she is without quickness, they'd be having the fire brigade around her house. Yeah, and Heather says Gemma guessed D. Bless her.
I'm sorry, no, but that was a great guess. That it was.
Wendy says, "Oh my God, I'm dying here."
One big package and sent it over to Wendy. So
no, she's going to be dancing around her house like woo.
That's right. Did you ever read Clive Barker? Have you ever read Clive Barker?
I haven't, but Hellraiser, the whole set, because it was like 3, wasn't there? 3 Hellraiser movies, I think.
10 of them now, but there's definitely 3, and I think there was a few after that as well. Yeah. The original, even part 2, are awesome. But
fantastic.
Read the book. The book is phenomenal. And Clive Barker, his horror is step above, right? So read The Damnation Game.
Oh, I'm writing this down. The Damnation
Game.
Nation Game.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And then another book by him, he also does some fantasy books, but another book that I love by him is called Cold Heart Canyon. All right. It's a Hollywood ghost story.
Oh, now I'm intrigued.
Right. It is the only novel that has ever had a character that made it into one of my dreams. Right. And I've been reading all my life, and that's the only book that the character came into my dreams. And it was it was a good dream, but it wasn't a good dream at the same time. Let's just put it that way. So definitely read that book. That's a good book. Cold Heart Canyon. And the Damnation Game is just, I mean, that's pure horror. Really good stuff. Really good.
Definitely. Right. My husband is not going to thank you when I go on Amazon later and glance over all these books.
Break them out. You spent all this money on books? Yes, that's right.
It was Paul's fault.
That's right. I'll take the blame without a doubt. Send it over. All right.
Okay. Let's have a fantasy question.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. 1, 2.
Before you do that, hang on a second, because Wilson says Wendy rocks, and Wendy says, yes, I'm outside dancing around, and my neighbor is staring at me, but I don't care. LOL.
Nice. I love it. Okay, so we did mug. I just got to get these prizes over here. We're going to do a T-shirt. We'll do the Girl on the Mission T-shirt. All right.
Oh, fantastic!
All right, so you got Liza Ward wanted a simple life. Only thing simple for Liza is murder, and then that's the front.
I always want to say that word with an accent. Murder. Like, I don't know where that comes from. I think that's from some old show or something. But
probably sounds a hell of a lot better when you say it than when I say it. T-shirt, girl, mission, T-shirt, mission, T-shirt. Okay, so for the Girl on the Mission T-shirt.
Yes.
Right. So here's the question. Before the fantasy genre went mainstream with Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, it was given a boost by this famous pulp magazine. A, Mad Magazine. B, New Gods. C, Weird Tales. Or D, National Lampoon.
Oh, get those answers on the question.
Oh, that's right. I'll read it again. Before the fantasy genre went mainstream with J.R.R. Tolkien, it was given a boost by this famous pulp magazine. A, Mad Magazine. B, New Gods. C, Weird Tales. Or D, National Lampoon.
Okay, I know what I'm thinking, but I'm probably completely wrong. Okay, Wilson says, is it C?
Yes.
Yay! Well done. I thought it was.
There you go.
I thought it was A.
You thought it was A? Mad Magazine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I think it was Mad Magazine came out a little bit later. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't say that's true. But Weird Tales, yes. That's a classic.
I'm very surprised. Oh, and Wendy thought it was A as well. Same as me. She thought it was A. But I think that's the most familiar. But Wilson, don't forget, write down the email address. There we go.
Email me. Yes.
Send your mailing address to Paul, and you can get your prize.
That's right.
Wilson,
and it's a T-shirt too, so I need your size.
Yes, size, please. Yeah. Wilson says, "No way! I must have challenged."
Channel the Wendy.
Channel Wendy.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Okay, could we have another science fiction question, please?
All right. So this will be the last science fiction question.
Yes, I think we've done all the fantasy ones as well, haven't we?
I think we got one more fantasy.
One more? Okay.
We did. And then, okay. So this is going to be for the rose tumbler, right? Ooh, like that.
Is beautiful. It looks so good.
Right. There you go. Rose tumbler. Ooh. And these things are great. You know, you got the top, you got the straw. You go to the beach, you fill it with some, little, you know what I'm talking about, right? You enjoy yourself at the beach. So rose tumbler. That's right.
I love it. Love it.
Okay. All right. So here we go. This is a hard one. All right. Which major film was inspired by the 1968 Philip K. Dick novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? A, Blade Runner, or B, The Matrix?
Oh, get your answers in the comments.
Yeah. I'll repeat. Which major film was inspired by the 1968 Philip K. Dick novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? A, Blade Runner, or B, The Matrix?
Okay, right. We've got Wendy says, is it A?
Yes. It is Blade Runner.
Fire.
You got it? Who was it? Wendy. Nice.
It was Wendy.
Wendy got her mojo back.
She did. Well, Wilson said Blade Runner, and I must admit,
that is the answer too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all did good.
Oh my God, they all got it right. Look, that is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Although I am a huge fan of The Matrix as well, especially as it has a Keanu Reeves.
I love Keanu Reeves, right? He's probably the coolest guy on the planet, dude.
Oh.
That's all I can say, you know. He's so suave and just like laid back and cool, and he does the right thing with his, you know, being famous and his money, and he's just a cool, calm, collected guy. I like.
He is, and he his life. And I've been very honest with my husband, Paul. I've told my husband that if Keanu Reeves moves on to the neighborhood, I'm sorry, but I'm packing Ian's bags and he's gone.
Nice. I told my wife the same thing.
Get out of here. But in my defense, he has said the same to me about Cameron Diaz. So you know,
like celebrity crushes Cameron Diaz, huh? Hey.
We know where we stand. We know where we stand.
Communication is key to a long marriage, right?
32 years.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Rose cup. Okay, so
Wilson says the only one I've known so far. You've got this, darling. You've got this.
That she does. Okay, so sci-fi category is done. All right.
Okay, so let's have another horror.
You want to go horror first? Okay, so this is the Gollum tumbler. That's what it looks like. That's the
they are
raw and stuff.
They're all so awesome, Paul.
Yeah, I like them, right? They came out great. That is a fact. So Gollum, psychological horror novel. The quote I said before that's on the shirt is right here, all right? Yes. That same quote, and then just go around, whatever. And there you go, all right? I love this. This one's actually my favorite.
I love it.
All right, so Gollum tumbler. Hold on. Gollum tumbler. Boom. Okay. So, here we go. Richard Matheson's I Am Legend features a plague that turns people into what?
I know this one.
A, werewolves, B, ash, C, zombies, or D, vampires?
Oh, get your answers in.
Get them in.
Those fingers going.
I'll repeat. Richard Matheson's I Am Legend features a plague that turns people into what? A, werewolves, B, ash, C, zombies, or D, vampires?
Okay, Wendy is on fire and she says, is it C?
No, it's not. It's not.
Then
the movie with Will Smith makes it look like it is zombies, but they're not. In the book, they're not.
Okay, look, we've got zombies from Wilson as well. And Wendy says, is it B?
No, it is not. B is ash.
Oh.
So it's either A, werewolves, or D, vampires.
There we go. So who's going to get it right? Who's going to be the first?
Right.
That answer in. I didn't actually know that because I haven't actually read that one. I did not know that. Wendy says, is it A?
It is not. Heather got it at the last second. It is vampires. Very cool. You
That's
did good.
interesting. I never knew that, Paul.
Yeah, vampires. And what's funny is that they're kind of slow. So it's kind of like they could be zombies, but they're not. In the book, they're vampires. But they move slow, and they're like kind of dumb and silly in a way in the book.
Wow.
And I love the book. It's probably my favorite dystopian book. I love the ending, and I mean, if you watch the Will Smith movie, which they did a great job until the end. They messed up my ending. It's like the ending of the book was perfect. I love the way that they had it. And they completely went Hollywood on us. No.
Really? They completely
they went Hollywood on us. There's another version of the movie or of the book with Vincent Price called The Last Man on Earth. So if you're into Vincent Price or you just want to take a little exploration or whatever, get into a black and white movie, watch that movie with Vincent Price, The Last Man on Earth. It is, and that movie is like exactly like what the book is.
Brilliant. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. We're getting all these recommendations. I'm going to be so busy over this 4th of July.
That's right.
With all these book recommendations I'm getting from Paul, I don't think I'm going to be doing much writing. I love it.
All right, so we're at the last question and last prize.
We are. And we've also got some comments as well. Like Wendy said, Wilson says, "Oh, good one." Ooh. And Wendy says, "I've never read or seen the movie, LOL. So you need to read the book first."
Yeah, I would definitely read the book first. Yes. And it's a quick read. It's more like a novella.
Yes. So, and Wilson says, "Great movie, scary though, but yes, too Hollywood at the end." Always interesting. We're going to have to read the books. Okay, let's have a look at this T-shirt.
Right. So the rose T-shirt, right?
Oh, look at those nails. Look at those nails. Can you see those? Cool. That is fantastic. Get ready to
bleed. Only vampires. One thing is certain. Get ready to bleed.
Every time I see one of your fantastic taglines, I want to do it in like a movie voice.
The dramatic movie voice, right?
Get ready to bleed.
Nice.
Yeah, go on, it.
You're hired. Set it up.
Do you know, funnily enough, I used to do that for a living back in the UK. I used to actually do voiceover acting. And I used to do like the scripts. I used to have to write the scripts, record it, and do it all. And yeah, I did loads for this particular company.
That's cool.
I did all their systems. I did their phone systems in house, and also all their promotional stuff as well. My claim to fame.
Very cool. Very cool. You got the voice for it. All right. Final question. All right.
Yes.
So Harry Potter fans, Lord of the Rings fans, this one's for you, all right? So hopefully we got some of you in there or out there. Which of these fantasy tropes do the Harry Potter books not share with Lord of the Rings? Okay. A, an evil antagonist banished from his own body. B, goblin bankers. C, a wise wizard with a long beard. Or D, items that must be destroyed to break an evil enchantment. I can't read my own handwriting. I'll read that again. Items that must be destroyed to break an evil enchantment. All right, that's
okay. You're gonna get this one. Oh my gosh! Even before you get a chance to read it the second time, like Heather's in there. She says, "Is it B?"
Heather, you're awesome. You got it. It is Goblin Bankers is the answer.
Yes, well done.
There you go. You did awesome.
Well done. Congratulations.
Very cool.
Congratulations. And Wendy was guessing at D. That is so cool. Paul, you are awesome. Those were
Thank you. This is so much fun. Don't forget to email me, though. All the winners, don't forget to email me right there. I need your address. If you want a shirt, I need shirt size too.
Yes. So please do that. And Wendy says, congrats, Heather. And Heather says, thank you. I love those movies and books. And Wilson says, yay, well done.
Very cool.
Everyone
had a good time.
Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Oh my gosh. I hope you will come back at some point and do another show with us, because this was so much fun. I literally feel like I've been on a game show today. It's absolutely brilliant. Wilson says, thank you. So generous.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Not a problem. I love doing trivia. I love giving out prizes. And I love seeing smiles on people's faces. Even though I can't see yours, I know there's a smile there.
Oh,
you can feel it coming over the internet vibes.
Yes, we're feeling the happy vibes. We really, really are.
That's right.
Well, you are an absolute joy. You really are to talk to. I could talk to you all day. I've got to be honest with you. You've been fantastic, and thank you for telling us about your amazing books. Everybody who's watching, please go and check out all of Paul's books, because they are fantastic, very highly rated, beautifully done. And when you do read them, please make sure you leave a review. They are super important to authors like ourselves. Every review counts. It really does. And all Paul's links are attached to this video, so you can have a look and check out Paul on all social media platforms, because he's everywhere. He's got his finger on the pulse. And please share Paul's interview today, and let your friends have a go at guessing the answers, because they were really good questions. They really were.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Had a great time. And we'll do it again, right?
Definitely. It's been an absolute blast, and I would love to talk to you again, and especially with all your new books coming out as well. You're constantly writing. Thank you so much, my darling. We may see your comments later on as people watch the interview when they finish work. So if you wouldn't mind just keeping tabs of the comments for the next few days, just in case anybody wants to ask you any questions or reach out to you, that would be awesome.
100%.
Winners, don't forget, email Paul with your address. And if you did win a t-shirt, let Paul know your size, please. And he will get that out to you. Just remember, postage is a bit crap at the moment, and it's taken a little bit longer than normal to send stuff. So just be aware.
What I'll do is when I send it out, and I'll give you the tracking number, and I'll tell you like the estimated time of delivery and stuff like that. So I'm on it.
You are awesome. Thank you, my darling. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You've been fantastic. We've got more interviews coming up for July and also for August, so keep posted. And as Paul knows, it's so exciting, we've got Mark Gottlieb from Trident Media Group coming back on July the 19th to do another show, and it's going to be about people's big book idea. So make sure you tune in for that. And if you know any writers and authors who could benefit from joining us for our live session with Mark, please invite them and let them know. So we will see you on the next Witty Writers Show. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Bye for now, everybody. See you soon.